Hello everyone and welcome back to our virtual classroom tour. Today we are back to talk about Class Dojo and Class Kick, which are two external web-based applications that we are using alongside our school website. You can access both of these tools through the school website. You don't have to save extra links or worry about that, but they're just a little bit more new, I guess, than some of the other things we talked about in the last video. So I'm going to really take my time and walk you through everything step by step. So why don't we start with Class Dojo? Class Dojo may actually be familiar to some of you. If you were here last year, some of you signed up for it during digital learning. However, then we were using it in a very strange way because it was a very strange time. So we're using it sort of more for the purpose it was intended this year, which is great. So when you click into Class Dojo, it will give you instructions on how to access it, but it will also give you instructions on what we actually do with it. So I'm going to move my head up here for a second. And you'll see, how do I earn points? So points is one of the biggest parts of Class Dojo and how we're going to be using it. Children can earn points and lose points in class by doing or not doing certain things. And that's all laid out on this page. So you can see here, you can earn points by practicing, listening, staying on task, tidying up, and staying in your spot. They're all very basic things. We'll be talking about all of this in the first week, but it's also there so that it can be reinforced at home and so that they can check back and see what it is that they need to do to get more points. Similarly, they can lose points by interrupting, getting off task, being disrespectful, or moving out of your spot. So obviously all the stuff to do with being in your spot is COVID-19 specific. It's become more important than it normally would be, but all of that is laid out there. When I give points, parents who are signed up will actually get a notification. I'm not honestly sure if it's through the app or if it's in an email, but you will get a notification to say, such and such did really well today, and they did X, Y, and Z, and it'll tell you the reasons for their points. So it's a really great way for you to stay up to date with what's going on in class, what we're getting up to, and how your little one's getting on. They then can trade those points in for prizes. So you'll see here, there's a list of individual prizes, there's a list of class prizes. Again, we'll go through all of this on the first day. There's all sorts of things they can win by themselves or by working together with their class. It's just the behavior management tool that we're going to use this year because certain things have become more important than they would have been before, and we're going to have new routines, and I want to really encourage them. So if you would like to sign up for those notifications, there'll also be messages coming out through Class Dojo, so it is a really good place to keep in touch. You will select just your class week, day, and time from the boxes here. So you'll find all this information on your student dashboard. You can check there, and it'll tell you what week you are. So let's say I'm week A, and it will then take me to a big long list of all of the different classes. So let's say, for example, I go on a Thursday at 8. It'll redirect me to Class Dojo, and I can then sign up from there. There is also an option once you have set up your parent account to create a student account. Student accounts are going to be used, they have a portfolio tool, which we're going to use for our monthly challenge. Even though we are only meeting every fortnight, I really want to make sure that there's something for you guys to do every single week. I will be giving double the work in our classes so that you can divide it over the 2 weeks, but we're also going to be adding something new that we kind of trialed a little bit during our digital learning, and I really enjoyed seeing what you guys all got up to. So each month we are going to have a monthly challenge. It'll be something different every single month, and you can complete it, upload it to your portfolio on Class Dojo and earn points that way. So it's a really great way to boost your point number and get closer to those prizes. So that's another part of Class Dojo as well. Let's head back to our website here. As I said in last week's video, if you at any point need to get back to the home page, there is a button at the bottom. Okay, so now we're into Class Kick. Class Kick is where we are going to complete all of our notebook work. So anything that would have been in your notebook last year is now in your Class Kick. So I am going to basically walk you through everything in this. I'm going to model the All About Me activity that I have set before the start of term. So you click into Class Kick. There are instructions at the top, as always. And then you can select your level, your grade level. So I am going to say that I am going to be a grade 5. So you will notice here there is already a class code in there. That code will be different depending on what grade level you pick. So make sure you're picking your grade level. But then all you have to do is type in your name. So it's your name as it appears on your student dashboard. That's all you need to log in. You don't need a username, you don't need a password or anything like that. This is all you need. So I'm going to say I am Abby A, and we'll click go. The very first page of this is just a breakdown. That's all it is. It is a welcome page, how to use this notebook and how to use all the tools. So you can see here, I will move my head back down so you can see the toolbar. You can see here there is all of the tools listed. So I have color coded it. So you can see there's a little box around each one and it matches the color of the text. So for example, this teal one is the select tool. All of these tools are just up here in the left-hand corner, and you can do all sorts of things. You can zoom in, you can select different things, you can use the pencil, the highlighter, the eraser, you can make a text box, you can draw a line, you can insert a link or access a link, you can use the image tool or the audio tool. And then also over here on the right, there is an additional button, which is the raise your hand button. So with the raise your hand button, you can either ask for help or ask me to check. And I've kind of explained help and check mean different things for us than they might for a conventional classroom. So if you're having problems accessing material and it's stopping you from practicing, put up the yellow hand like this. And what that's going to do is it's going to flag it on my system, and the next time that I am in Class Kick, I can help you with it. And then after I've helped you, you can just put your hand down. If you have a note, maybe your mom has left a note in your notebook, or a general comment, or there's just something you'd like me to look at, you've done a drawing or you've written something, then you put up the green hand. And again, I will check that, but I'll check it after I've checked all the yellow hands. And as you can see, it just changes it once your hand is up, it changes it to put hand down. So you can put your hand down when your question is answered. So why don't we move on then? The next page is your All About Me page. This is your first activity that you will ever have to do in Class Kick, assuming you haven't used it somewhere else, which I don't think anyone has. This is the first page you're going to do. I am going to do this page with you actually in a minute just to show you all the different things you can do. But before we do that, I want to take a look at the examples of our weekly pages. So I've included 2 example pages because there are 2 pages for each week. There's an in-class page, which I will update, and there's a this week page, which you can update at home. So in the in-class page, there's this little box here. Now this box is where I'm going to put links to anything that you need. So I will put links to your specific piece and annotate it for you. I might put links to recordings if I want you to listen to me saying it or somebody else saying it. That's going to be sort of your hub for when you're practicing. If you need a copy of your piece, or when you're practicing you want to hear somebody say your piece, that is where links are going to go. In that little box right at the top, really easy to access. Then here is the Abby Says box. So as I've explained here, I will add feedback and comments in here, and that's going to be a place for reflection and review when you practice next week. So this is basically what I used to do in your notebook anyway. I've just kind of divided it up a little bit. So Abby Says is about what you did last week, how successful you were, or things you might still need to work on. The second box then is for your goal for this week. So we'll be picking a goal every week or a goal every fortnight. It depends how big the goal is. If it's a huge thing, like putting an expression, we might take 2 weeks at it. If it is like pause or slowing down or run on lines or something that's really easy to fix, then maybe we'll only take 1 week. It'll depend for each person. But your goal is going to go there, and we will work on a goal together that we think is achievable and appropriate and that you understand, and it'll go in there. Finally then, the very bottom is notes from Abby. So you will remember last year, if we were having a party week or if we were off for a week or anything, I would put a little note in your notebook. So that's what's going to go in here. If exam entries are due, I'll put a little note in everybody's book. If festival entries are due, if we're having a party, if you're off next week, if you're going to have a different teacher, sometimes my sister helps. If I have another appointment or if I have a double up, she will help out. That will all go in the notes section. Finally then, at the bottom of both the in class and the this week section, there's a space for a parent signature. Now, this is just literally so that I can see that you've seen it and that you've been accessing it. I don't want anybody to feel like they can't access this notebook and that they don't know how and not to tell me. So this is just a way for me to check that you are there, that you are seeing it, that it's all going well. I completely understand that it is really hard to sign on a screen, particularly if you're signing on a computer. Like if you don't have a tablet or a phone, it's really hard to sign. So literally a squiggle in that box, just enough to show me that you've seen it and that you have taken it on board. That's all I need. The second page then is the this week page. So this is for you and your child to complete throughout the week. The first thing on this page is the practice tracker. So there are 7 boxes on the top and 7 boxes on the bottom of this one. Each box is worth 10 minutes of practice. So you could either do 10 minutes of practice every single day, or you could do half an hour on Monday and then not practice again until Thursday. You know, it's totally up to you, but this is just an easy way for you to gauge how much practice you've done and for me to see what kind of improvement to be expecting before you start. Because if you've only done 40 minutes of practice in a week, the improvement's not going to be the same as someone who's collared all their boxes. So it's a way for you to challenge yourself and to keep track of all the practice that you're doing, and it's a way for me to see that, and I'll be really impressed when loads of people are doing all their practice. The next section then is a This Week I Read section. So unfortunately, we're not able to borrow books at Speech and Drama this year. It's just another thing that would have to be worked out, and it's a bridge too far at the minute. However, that doesn't mean that I don't want to hear about what you're reading, and I don't want to see what you're reading and hear what you think. So this little section just has a space for the title, the author, and the rating of that book. And this is also a great opportunity for me to find new books that you guys have read at school or at home and that you really like, and I can then find extracts from those books and tie it all in together. So it's a really useful space, and I'm hoping that everybody will read at least 1 book a week that they can put into this section. Finally then on this page, there is a space called Notes from Parents. So this is anything that you want to tell me. If there's a reason that you weren't able to practice this week, or if there's something that wasn't clear in the feedback from the previous week, whatever it might be, maybe you have to tell me that your child can't make it on a certain date. Just let me know in this space. It's going to be a really easy way for me to keep track and stay in touch with all of you. So you can pop any questions that you have in there and then just head over and raise the green hand and I will check it and see it and take a note. So that is basically everything that we will be doing on a weekly basis. There are going to be additional activities and different things popped in as the year goes on, but that is the bare bones of it. Let's take a look at how some of the tools work. So what we'll do is, do you know what? I will just fill out the All About Me page. That's what we'll do. So I will start by saying, okay, my name is, I'm going to complete that with the text box tool. So I'm going to head up here and pop my text box in there and just type Abby A. And you can also change the color and the fill of things. I think I am going to make it pink because y'all know I love pink. So you can move it about after you've written as well if you don't like where you've positioned it. That's good, I like that. Okay, then we have, let's do the drawing tool. Now, I'm doing this on a computer at the minute. Normally I do this on my iPad with my Apple Pencil, so let's see how messy this turns out. But I am 23 years old. That's not actually that bad. So there you go. That is the pen tool that we did that one with. Okay, so here is a box to put a picture of me. So I go up to the image tool and I click on upload from computer, and I think I have one that I saved from earlier. Yes. Let's put this one in. Oh, don't I look insane? We will add that. Oh gosh, I'm very big. Okay, so if I double click on it, I can resize it. So let's just take that right the way down. And I can also change the angle a little bit, like this. Yeah, that fits in the box. Okay, so my favorite book is, I think I'm gonna insert an image. So I will go over to Google and just search for an image this time. Let's go for To Kill a Mockingbird, which is my favorite book. Images. Let's pick a pretty cover. This is the cover I have, so I think I'll go with it. So I'm gonna right click and click Save As. So I'm saving that. Go to the image tool and we're gonna upload it exactly the same way that we did before. So you click it, next, finish. Okay, so we'll resize that one too. I think I'll keep it straight though. Okay, and I go to, well, I do actually go to a school at the minute, so why don't we put a text box in there, and I will say Queen's University. Oop, it's a bit long. I'll make it 2 lines. And you can change the size if you want as well, but I think I'm going to keep all of mine the same. Okay, so my favorite movie or TV show is, again, I think I'm going to insert an image, but this time, do you know, I might put this one in. So there you go. We'll keep it really fun. We'll put a GIF in. So my favorite movie is Lady and the Tramp. So we'll put them in there, and I'll put them at a wee bit of an angle. Why not? Okay, so over the summer, what did I do? Worked on this notebook. That is all I've done all summer. I'm kidding. I've done a few other things, but not a lot in fairness. So I might change the color of that one. We'll make it black again maybe. Okay, so then down at the bottom here, my favorite season is spring, summer, autumn, or winter. There's a few different options for this one. We could use the pen tool, but we've already used that. We could use the highlighter tool. Why don't we use the highlighter? Okay, so my favorite season is autumn. I love the autumn. You could also use the line tool for this one if you wanted. You could put a line in like that. The other tools that I haven't used yet and I could use probably is I could put a link in. So I could say Lady and the Tramp. And I could put a link in to YouTube, for example. Will not actually put a proper link in, but I could put that in there and send people to watch a video of Lady and the Tramp, a clip, maybe that scene that I mentioned. Or you can add audio, so I could add in a little video of me telling you what I did over the summer. I could put that in there. There are all sorts of things that I could do. You can also rub things out again if you're not liking what you've done. What I'm going to do in this box actually is I am going to hop over to my teacher mode, and I'm going to show you how, if you are looking at what you are doing in your workbook, how you can also see what I'm doing, even if we're in 2 totally different places. So I just have my iPad with ClassKick pulled up, and as you can see, I can see everything that I've done on the computer straight away, and I can add my own things. So let's go down to this box here. And why don't I start? I will just draw Why don't we draw a smiley face? If we are on at exactly the same time, like we would be if we were doing a class via Zoom, you will see what I'm writing exactly as I'm writing it. And unfortunately, you will probably have to stare at my handwriting rather than nice typed text, because I'll be using this bad boy, and it'll just be easier for me to be actually writing rather than typing. But okay, let's do some hobbies. So why don't I, on this screen, just to show you, I will add some of my hobbies. So I could add a drama mask, like this, and make it as big as I can. So there is a mask. So I could put little emojis in. I could add, how about that, a TV? TV works, doesn't it? And pop that in there. There are lots of different things that you can do with this. It's really versatile. You're not going to be able to do everything every single week. You're not going to be using every single tool every single week. But this is just a really good opportunity to experiment, to try all the different tools, to see what you think, to ask questions by raising your hand if you need to. That's the idea behind this exercise. And then when we come to do things on our workbook later on, you'll know everything back to front and it'll be great. As I said in yesterday's video, if you have any questions, please just pop them in the comments. That way other people can see them and maybe they have the same question. From experience, if one person has a question, usually 5 other people are thinking it. So make sure that you pop it down there and then they'll be able to see your question and my response all in the one place. And it'll just make this video so much more useful. I really hope that you guys are as excited about this as I am. I have strangely enjoyed the challenge of trying to plan my year without really knowing what it's going to look like. So this is something I am really excited about and I think is going to work really well for us, for both you guys at home and for me here in the classroom. I will be back with, I think, 2 more videos before we are back to proper school class time. One of them is going to be a tour of this room because it's a bit different. You can't actually tell from this angle. This looks pretty much the same except for that thing is new. And I will also then show you what a day in the life is going to look like. So I'm going to walk you through what a class is going to look like from your perspective. And hopefully just put your mind at ease a little bit and prepare you for what's to come. So I hope you're all keeping really well and I will speak to you soon.